What's up, fam? It's Carl.
Hi, this is Stanley.
Welcome to another episode of Managed Podcast, where we're encouraging men to be leaders and embracing their varying roles in the community. What we chopping up today, Stan?
We're chopping up how to pimp. P.I.M.P.
We pimping today?
We're not pimping today. We're pimp. Now, again, I'm going to use it as an acronym, okay?
Okay.
It's where people inspire and motivate people.
That's a different kind of pimp.
It's a different kind of pimp. Yeah, it's a different kind of pimp. Because unlike how most people interpret it, I think part of this managed podcast and why we did it is because we were constantly those types of people, those men in our own little communities,
right,
in our own little other networks of friends that were very encouraging to others. That's why the very first few episodes was about inspiring others to read, to expand the horizons, understanding who they are, self-love, self-awareness, self-appreciation, mental health. So that's what our continuing messaging should also do, encouraging. So
Absolutely.
This one, I want to look at pimping. Not pimping like doing what we think it is. It's
right.
People inspiring and motivating people. And what you do with that is you give. Be selfless. I think part of receiving, you should never give to receive, but naturally as you give, you do receive. And when you have that in your mindset, if you have that in your intent, you're always going to be pure. It's always going to be righteous. It's always going to come back in a positive way. So
100.
That's something a lot of people now are not doing. We're all about this. We're all about me. Look what I gotta do. Look what I did. Look how many likes I got. People valuing.
Look at my views.
They value me because of what I did for that person, and here's my proof. I got 1 million likes.
Yeah, that means I'm bomb.
Yeah, but then it may not be a bomb. Okay,
right.
We have to do things and move with intention, and I think we're starting to lose that. So as men in this communities in which you live, do that. Get involved. Look for things that are outside your box, maybe even outside of your expertise, but just get involved in it. For example, I heard somebody just became involved in the high school coaching. Was your first for that?
We don't need to be talking about that. I don't need anybody coming to visit me or something.
No, I didn't say nothing. I didn't say who that was.
Yes. I am the offensive coach or offensive coordinator for high school right now.
Okay, well, let me ask you something. What did that mean for you? How did you even try to become that? Since, let's be real, that's not what you've been doing for the last X amount of years, but you felt called to do that. I mean, what was it that you wanted to interact with or give towards? I mean, what was it? Like, what inspired you to do that?
So I currently coach my younger kids football team. They have an Optimist football team, so I coach that. But the high school where my oldest goes, their team, they had some issues up and down or whatever. And I said to myself, instead of standing on the sideline and complaining, let me get involved. Let me give a hand. And so I spoke to the head coach and I said, this year, if you'd like, I can give a hand. I can help you out. And I mean, they were more than happy to accept me on board. And so I started last week talking to them. What's that?
I'm going to call bull crap. I'm going to stop it. I'm going to stop you right now.
All right.
Because I've been around that program for over 12 years. So I know for a fact.
Listen, you're not helping the situation.
Let me finish. That there were plenty of parents that offered their help. What made you so special?
Look at me.
Oh. What made you so special that they're like, yes, I know I'm being facetious here. I'm being a clown, but to be honest with you, I know a lot of people that wanted to extend assistance, and that particular program are always saying no to parents because there's nothing worse than a parent that's on the sideline coaching. But yet he said yes to you. Why is that?
I got that character. We can't argue that he made a good decision. So let's just be happy. He made the right choice. And this season is going to be the start of multiple great seasons. So
okay, you're not seeing where I'm going with this.
No,
I put you out there and said that because I wanted you to catch that big old kickball that served on you.
Oh,
what makes you
I'm tracking. I wasn't tracking. I'm tracking now.
Okay, you're tracking. Hold on. Let me talk about you. Right.
Yeah.
Here's what I've noticed. And again, I've been around this program and many others for a long time. The difference between what I think you are bringing is you're not just a complaining parent. Hey,
Right.
coach, why didn't you do that right? Hey, coach, you screwing up, coach. Coach, my son should be playing quarterback. Right. What you, I think I saw personally do was not just come with complaints, but come with humble suggestions.
True.
Come with, hey, coach, good job. You know what? Good job. If I could be of assistance, let me know. As opposed to, here's what you're doing wrong. And that's what I think most of us do not do properly. Instead of criticizing,
correct,
offer.
Right.
Put in that commitment. Because Lord knows you have enough on your plate, but you're going to add this too.
Yes.
That's a true intention of giving.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you, it's a great feeling because being there last week, speaking to the young men, the players, getting involved with them and seeing what they want to do, their goals and what they're excited about. It's a great thing for me. And me coaching the younger kids, it's great. It's not the same because they're younger. You know, a lot of them are kind of scatterbrained. They're not fully in it. But in high school, these kids are pretty focused on what they want. And if they're still playing football in high school, that means they're focused on, they have their targets set on going to college, maybe the NFL. And in that period, as the high school coach, if you're not leading them in the right direction, they may end up someplace they don't need to be. So I feel this role is a definite positive role. And it's a role that I'm going to be able to influence and positively influence some of these young men to make the best decision for themselves. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know it's going to be a lot for sure, but I think us on this planet, we're meant to help each other. So part of being a pimp, if we're not actively and positively helping each other to exceed and to do better, then we're doing wrong in this planet. We're not serving our purpose on this planet because some of us are blessed with some information, and with that same information, we need to be turning around and giving it to the people behind us, surrounding us, to help everybody build up themselves or to become better. So me doing this is definitely one of the pimp moves that I'm proud of doing for sure.
And now I'm going to fast forward it, not fast forward it, but take it to another level, another lens of assisting. I do a lot of seminars for professionals, attorneys, mediators, third-party neutrals, arbitrators, those who want to learn how to negotiate better.
No place for hate.
No place for hate.
No place for hate.
Those who want to learn how to negotiate better in complex situations. But in meeting all these people, I like having small groups, 15 or less, because in those 15 or less groups, I have former justices, former judges, people who are actually equity named partners in large firms who are making 7 to 8 figures. And they're like, you're approaching this with such a passion. You're approaching teaching us about being a neutral or mediating or negotiating with such a passion. Why is that? And also, why are you not hitting the 9-figure mark doing this? I'm like, because I'm not focused on hitting the 9-figure mark about doing it. I'm focusing on helping those who humbly allow me to be their primary trainer learn a little bit of what I have to, but the knowledge of the group far surpasses that of the presenter. So I'm going to learn from you too. And that's what I want. I want to become better in my craft and what I do. So I want that. So how does this relate to this? People inspiring and motivating people is because I'm telling these very experienced professionals, again, judges and lawyers and equity partners who run firms as much as 500 lawyers. What are you doing to give to those others? How have you learned what you've learned, and how are you imparting, inspiring, and motivating? And we can conspire to aspire to inspire, and that's what we give back, because we can only be better. And I'm not sure what areas everyone's listening to this or watching this later on, what they're in, but the legal community, they're on a downward spiral. It is so bad being a lawyer or a judge right now. There are seminars on mindfulness, seminars on mental wellness, seminars on the civility in law, being more civil, because
downward meeting on how they're treating people or themselves.
How they're treating themselves, how the profession is being, how people are litigating trial. It's like kindergarten. I am a mediator, so I see attorneys go back and forth, and some of it becomes personal attacks. They leave the professionalism out. And they do
Really?
not even, yes. And when I have spoken to them later on, maybe months later, weeks later, and it might come up. So what happened during that particular case? They'll tell me something personal that happened to them on a personal level that influenced how they litigated with that person on the other side. So I'm like,
they're
hold
bringing
on.
in some grudges from outside into the cases to affect how things turn out.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Or they tell me, Stanley, my client is XYZ type personality. I have to be that A type because they're paying for that.
Right.
Wow. So what you're doing is you're actually changing what the integrity of your profession is to suit what that person feels you should be.
Right.
No. So back to what this means. So in these conversations on how to negotiate better, and we go through all kinds of advanced techniques, but what I try to give to those who have reached that certain level, what are you doing to bring the others up, the others that aren't as experienced, or even those who are, but are going on a different path? You know, as you said, our job, we're put here not for ourselves. We are a communal being, okay? We are networking all the time. Everything we do, 75 plus part of our communication is nonverbal communication. So there's a constant give and take and conscious and unconscious learning being done. Conscious and unconscious communication. Our actions do speak louder than our words. So we have to be consistent in realizing people need to inspire and motivate others to create a better community, a better way of being. Otherwise, what we're going to be, we can't be this me.
We're going to be like
thing.
those savage animals just walking around, just eating, grabbing and taking whatever we want.
No, and it's so funny because eventually, I don't know where we're going to go with all this technology. I don't know what ultimately the next 15, 20 years will look like, but the statistics of mental health, mental wellness, those that are self-deleting have only increased. Why is that? We're not living in bubbles. Things are more in our face now. People are not receiving that motivation, that conscious inspiration they can receive from others. It's all about what am I doing better than that person, or look at me, or I'm not liked enough. In fact, it's so advanced. Even social media companies like Meta, right, Facebook, or Instagram, one of them, right? Aren't they taking off that? The discussion is taking off that like button.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes. The discussion, yes. They listen. The research is so because that is actually promoting the way this society right now is viewing is viewing things in a negative way. So what gets liked are the negative things instead of just the positive things, the things that are more detrimental to a community and its growth than inspirational. Okay.
I mean, if we're gonna get like, to me, I think I talked to you about this the other day. The issue is that people are using social media instead of talking to each other. I went to an event and everyone was sitting on their phone instead of talking to each other. And it's like, how are you going to know someone if you're not looking at them in their eyes? If you're not talking to them, you're just going to be. And one of the women said, yeah, every time I meet a guy, the first thing they say, hey, what's your social media? What's your Instagram? And I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, most of them aren't asking for phone numbers. They want to see the Instagram first. They want to see what you're about on your social media page. And I was like, well, you really don't know someone by pictures that they post, because if you really think about it, people take 10 to 20 pictures before they choose the best picture out of the pile. So all the other pictures that they took might have been the real them, but because they took the one that the sun hit at the right moment, or their nose didn't look so big, or their lips or something, and that's the one they posted. So you're going to look at all these perfection pictures, you could say, and then decide, hey, that's the person I want to be with. And that may be not who that person is. So we need to get back on track. We're talking about P.I.M.P. Let's get on P.I.M.P.
No, you're right. Because people inspire and motivating
people.
Well, again, even what you just, I think where you let off on is interesting. dating, again, we're not going to do a date, it's not a dating show, but even as you date or as you select the person that you're going to spend some time with, hopefully
Correct.
that person's inspiring you, that person is motivating you, that person's not taken away from you too. So these are things that we can bounce back and forth in different categories of
This is true.
importance. So
Let me tell you. So for me, when I date, every person that I meet, I mean, let's scratch just date. So just me, any person that I meet, my goal is for them to leave, whether we stay friends or whatever, is to leave knowing more from what I gave them versus what they were when they first came and when they first met me. Because every person I meet, no matter if it's just a quick meet or a long meet, I inspire in the sense that I give them nuggets of information about how to increase their financial status, how to increase themselves. So my goal on a day-to-day is to pimp every day. I pimp hard every day. Every single day, every person I meet.
What if they don't want it?
What if they don't want it?
What if they don't want it? Because let's be real. There's a real, because then I hear what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you, and I try to do the same in a very well, I don't want to. I do the same thing to a point where I'm trying to also learn from them. I think is always a learning opportunity with whoever you may meet. Is always an opportunity to actually learn. But what if the people are actually reluctant in that messaging?
No, but that's part of the conversation. So as I speak with people, just the same thing with Christianity. When I first started my walk with God, I used to walk around every person I see. I used to be like, God, Jesus, God. So I've beaten people up with God because I wasn't tactful. I wasn't reading the room. And so as time progressed, I learned that not everybody wants to hear what you got to say. So as I got older and I was able to understand things, I talk to people and I give I tap dance around them to see what they're interested in. I tap dance around them to see what they're open to listening to. And as I learned that's when my conversation changed with them. And so, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there are people that really don't want to hear what you got to say because they just, they're set in their ways that this is the way they want to go and that's all they want to do. But there are people that truly want to hear. And it's not only necessarily that they're afraid, but a lot of people aren't willing to open their mouths and say, hey, can you help me with something? So I'm always asking, can I help you? Or do you need something? Or can I make a suggestion? How does this sound? Because those words are guard dropping. They'll help people to drop their guard so they can say, oh, you know what? Maybe he's sincere in what he's trying to show me. Maybe he's sincere in what he's trying to tell me. Maybe I should listen. So that's what I do in my day-to-day. And I try to, and I mean, there are definitely people that don't want to hear something that you got to say. And those people, I'm never going to give anybody the rule, like, screw you, you should listen. I'm just going to be like, well, hey, if ever you decide to hear, I'm here.
I think even what you're saying, there is, you learn more from people with what they don't give you sometimes than what they do give you. Because when they give you, they're giving it to you measured. They give it to you calculated. They're giving it to you tempered sometimes. So even that person who's like reluctant in receiving information from you, that gives you a lot of information. Their guard, what they've been through, their past.
I know of them.
Yes, of them.
Okay,
again, fortunate. I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate, but the reality is, no matter a lot of in my different networks in the walk of life, everything eventually becomes a conversation eventually of conflict or solutions to conflict, whether it's professional, because I am a professional Supreme Court certified mediator, arbitrator, and trainer in it. It becomes eventually within 3 or 4 conversations, how could this or that interaction be better? How can this or that situation be better? And I don't say, here's what you have to do. I know I play the back often in this ask questions, and something you just asked or stated is one of the most important thing in this being pimp. Again, people inspiring and motivating people, right? Is to ask, how can I help?
How can I help? Yep.
How can I be of service? How can I be of service to you?
May I make a suggestion?
Here's what I think you should do. Or in my vast experience of 15,000+ cases, this reminds me of never that.
Yeah, because
People have their
you
own
turn it
view.
into, I'm smarter than you.
No,
You're
no,
stupid. Let me give you this
no. I
information.
know I'm humbly ignorant in your life. I have no idea. I don't know. And that's, I think, a benefit, because I would like you to teach me what you want me to know. And even that's a message. And even that is a little nugget of what it might be. So
Right.
eventually, we're going to do a topic called Stop Trying to See Yourself in Others. Reflections are always distorted
Sure.
or
Sure.
disappointing. That's later on. But
Later on.
in that is these people and trying to just be that that what's a good word? Lighthouse. That lighthouse for growth, that lighthouse for inspiration and motivation. You gotta know one, your true intent. And
Bringing
also
people over to you, you mean?
No. I'm saying just again, if what we're doing right now is a constant, consistent messaging on how we can assist other men that might have questions about their self growth or wanting to be more, wanting to do more, be encouraged and encouraging, then I'm saying give. I'm saying be pimp. People inspire and motivate people. And naturally, it's a natural energy and cycle that happens. So when I really am genuine, I really do like helping people. Some people don't do that. But when I talk to those people who are like, well, I can't give them my time, I don't want to do that.
I'm busy.
Here's the funny part. It's not that they're busy, is they don't want to feel rejection. They don't want to feel hurt. And that's giving you another glimpse of who that person is.
Right.
It's not that they don't have time or they don't want to. It's because they have experienced a certain level of disappointment and hurt. So now they're very, they're very apprehensive to put themselves out there.
So it's like similar to what you said. You were like, what if they don't want it, the information? So maybe they put out the information and they got smacked down multiple times. So they just went back into the hole and said, you know what? I'm not going to talk about what I need, what I know to help anybody anymore, because I don't want to get smacked down.
Yeah, and guess what? I had a very good friend of mine. Sorry, forget friend. I had a very good family member. I can't say who it is. And
that's not a good idea. Don't say who
I just said I'm not going to say.
Just make sure you know. Yeah.
I just said I'm not going to say it. So obviously I'm not going to say it. Yeah. So like I said, I have a very good family member who became very miserable. And I was asking that person, why are you so miserable? And they said, I see all this ugliness around me. I see all this pain around me. I see all these missteps around me. I'm like, well, why don't you help with that?
Yes, exactly.
From me, I'm like, well, if you don't understand what they're going through for them to be doing these missteps, then why are you so tied to the emotional connection of them not doing it right? It's obviously affecting you. So how selfish are you? Come on, sure. Give to that person.
Be a part of the solution.
Exactly. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution. If you're just going to criticize from afar, criticize from back, but then it's hurting you. And the reason why it was hurting next individuals because that person did have so much love for these missteps, and they feel that they were being rejected. They feel that it would not be accepted, and it did irk and bother them. I mean, it might sound far-fetched, but it's not, because there are a lot of people who walk around, with their nose in the air, like as if they know so much, but it's because they haven't opened themselves up to receive either. So it's a constant back and forth of they're not giving because they're afraid to receive, because they don't want to be, caught, maybe held accountable themselves.
Yeah, right. I had a saying I used to tell when I was in network marketing, and I used to talk to people about getting them into network marketing, and I would say something to them to the extent like this. I would say, you've lived up to this point and you've learned up to this point all you've learned. If you look at your life, are you happy with it? And a lot of people would say, no, they're not happy. And I'd say, well, you have to make a decision. Are you going to keep doing what you're doing, or are you going to make a change? And they'd be like, well, I want to make a change. Well, I say the first step in making a change is deciding to make a change. And then once you decide that you're going to make a change, start taking action and doing something different. So like
bringing love into it, cousin.
Yes.
I'm bringing love into it, cousin. You said stay from love. I got to throw it in there now. Hey, love is not that Disney World stuff.
No.
Love is not this, oh my God, And then her breath
He
smells like
loves
angel
me.
dust. Ooh,
Snow
no.
White kiss her and she will wake up and everything will be lovely. You know what's funny about that? We don't know if after he kissed her and they got together, she was always nagging him and he was like, listen, I'm done with you, and walked away. We have no idea.
And then live happily ever after.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they lived happily ever after until she started nagging and he ran away.
or he started nagging because, girl, that hair is so fly.
Yeah.
How come your hair is not as pretty as I first saw you?
Yeah.
What happened to your hair? What happened to butterflies?
Or he was a simp and she was like, listen, I need a manly man. You're a whack. I got to go.
Back on this. So back on the love that you don't want me to talk about. It's a decision.
Yes,
we have to make a decision. From making a decision, then you take the action. From getting the actions, you do get that feeling. And that's where we need to go. Far too often, even in being pimp, right? Again, people inspiring, motivating people, right? We are waiting for the feeling first, then take the actions, then say, it was a good idea. I decided it was a good idea. No. Make that decision.
It's people
look for that
backwards.
Complicated thing. Don't be afraid of that complicated thing. Give to that complicated thing and watch the growth that happens around you and within you and others.
People go backwards. They, like I was telling you earlier, people look at the results and they're like, yep, I want to do that. I want to do that. They don't think about the point, the success, to making the plan, everything in between, because in between is the heartache, the pain, the blood, sweat, and tears, all that.
Disappointment.
Oh my God, disappointment. And like, so I would be in the network marketing, and as I grew in the business, people be like, man, I want to be like you. And I'd be like, are you sure? Because I be on the grind. I work. And they'd be like, yeah, man, I want to live like you live. I want you seem so awesome. You're so motivated. And I'm like, listen, this is a struggle. This is not easy. For me to wake up every day and do what I do, it's a struggle. It takes some time, especially with the damage that I've received throughout my life with all the ups and downs. It's hard for me. I'm motivated, but it's sometimes I want to just do nothing because I don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like doing this, but I know this is what I need to be doing. But a lot of people look at the shine, but they don't see when it used to be dull. They don't see. And so part of that, people need to realize you giving into each other is helping you. Like, so for me, helping other people and motivating people is how can I call that? That's my spinach, like Popeye used to eat. And you give him the bing boom, when you get all those muscles. Helping people motivates me. Helping people makes me feel better to know that I'm doing something in the society that's helping. So I love helping people. So
what if you don't gain anything from it?
But no, there's no need for. I don't need it. I'm not doing it to get something in return. I never do it expecting them to be like, oh, Carl, you're the best. I don't know what I would have done. I don't want that. I want to see, after we had our conversation, you take action, you do something. But if you don't take action or don't do anything, I know I did my part. That's all that mattered to me. Like, if I meet someone and they're talking and they're like, there's some dark times and things are so hard, I'm going to talk to them about God. And I'm going to try to put some light in their darkness and help them to do better. Them accepting it or not accepting it, it's up to them. But me doing what I did, I feel better for it. It's the same situation. Like if you're driving and you see somebody stuck on the side of the road, I mean, anybody could just keep moving. But I'm the guy, no matter what's going on, I'll pull over and help, because I don't want to be the person that's later thinking like, damn, maybe I should have helped that person. They probably needed something that I had. Maybe they needed a jump and they didn't have cables, and I've got cables. So I'm always that guy. I'm going to pull over and put my 2 cents in or help. And if they accept it, if they don't, that's on them. But I did me. That's how I feel.
Yes, it's tough to take pimp action. Again, people inspire, motivated people, because you have to be prepared for them not to receive it. And there's some personalities I know. Again, I'm not going to say names. Personally, in my life, I never understood that. If they offer something and you don't receive it, well, then forget you. Then I'm not going to help you ever again in life. I'm like, wait, maybe I wasn't ready to receive what you had to offer.
Right.
Or maybe I'm just not agreeing with you. Doesn't mean you shut down. That is another display, an example how that person is showing you what they dealt with, what's their pain, or maybe they're doing it for something. They're not revealing the actual truth behind it.
True.
Right. So that's why I said one of the very first things is, what's your intention? Do this with being genuine. At the end of the day, if it's not accepted, that's fine. I'll still offer it 5 more times if it's in me to offer it 5 more times.
Absolutely.
Okay? That's perfectly fine. Because at the end of the day, it's not about having to reach that gold star. It's about, here's what I'm capable of doing. Here's the capacity that's in me. And if we all move with that same capacity, that same drive, that same understanding, do you know where we would be right now? All this backbiting and little things that we see constantly, all that stuff will be gone. All this natural hate, all this cancel culture stuff, all that would be gone, I think, because we're not trying to make someone into someone else to fit our mold.
Right.
What we think it should be.
Even what we're doing with this podcast, we're doing it. We're putting the information out there to help as many people as possible. But
if they want it, if they don't, fine.
But we're not doing it like expecting people to write us and thank us. We're not. What we're doing is because we know growing up as young men, we didn't have those parents that were sitting us down and talking to us about finances. They weren't talking to us about how to shave or how to maintain yourself as a man. We didn't have that. So because we didn't have it, we want to make a platform for these young men coming up to make better decisions, to make better choices for themselves. And with this podcast, that's what we're going to do. And it's not about, getting all these likes. We're doing it because we want a better next generation, because there's a lot of kids out there right now that are doing the most ridiculous foolishness that you would ever believe. And so we got to be a part of helping that get better for sure.
All right. So listen, pretty much good with what we've got so far. So again, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the time. Again, Manish Podcast. We're here to hear. We're here to receive. We're here to spread that opportunity for people to find an opportunity and a place to grow, a space to where you can learn more and be more. That's why today is about being P.I.M.P. People inspiring, motivating people. And in that is the growth. In that is the inspiration. Is the community that we may need to be within the varying positions we are in our community. So, all right, cousin, as always,
like what we said, leave a comment, leave a comment for sure. Whether you like it, if you didn't like it, if you thought we sound like crap, leave us a comment. Subscribe, help spread the word, share it with everybody, and we're gonna be here. We're gonna do. I guess for now, we're going to start off with once a week. We're going to post something, but as time goes on, we're going to start posting more content. But for now, we're doing once a week. All right. You take care, stay strong, and be better.
Be better. Peace out.
Be better.